Water changes. Shit. Welcome back, guys. I just got back from a 6-day vacation. Took my family out of the country. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about what I do. I mean, I know there's a lot of videos out there, and pretty much what everybody says is pretty true. If you are leaving your fish for anywhere up to a week, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to, get those auto feeders. I mean, unless you already have them, you don't need to buy those tablets that slowly dissolve. Um, Main reason being the fish will be fine. They are okay without food for sure up to a week. Now, while I was gone for those 6 days, I only had one death in the fish room, and that death was a teeny tiny fry, one of my madakas, unfortunately. But I do have a bunch of fry in the fish room. I mean, from the plecos to the guppies, to the Africans, to more of the madaka. Um, what else? I think that's about it. But there was not another one. This is just one baby little smallest fry. So they were completely fine. The preparations that led up to my vacation, let's see, we left Friday super early in the morning. So throughout that week, every day when I would get home from work, I did a rotating water change on all of my tanks. Just because obviously I wasn't going to be here that weekend to be able to do the water changes. So I wanted to make sure they had, great water before I left. Today is, I fed them yesterday, but I got back today and this is when I'm going to do the maintenance. I got to do some water changes because you can see that some of the water is getting murky. To be honest, I only test my parameters when I need to. I know everybody's doing fine. They're thriving. Babies are popping out everywhere. I can just see from the coloration of the water that it's getting a little yellow. So that just shows me there's going to be, a lot of waste in there. So I've got my bucket ready and we're just going to go around doing rotating water changes. Not on all the tanks, but just the ones that need it. Today is Friday, Thursday. Just kidding. I wish it was Friday. It's Thursday. So going into the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I will be performing the rest of the water changes. One thing you got to think about is what kind of fish you have and what is their diet like. Um, a lot of my tanks, I guess like about half of my tanks are species only. So I just got to worry about one type of food. But I've got, my 40-gallon community tank. I've got this 20 long sort of community. It's got a different various species in there. So I always got to feed for the whole tank and not just for any specific fish. Before I left, like super early, as my family was getting in the car to go to the airport, I took these North Fin kelp wafers. So what I've noticed is they don't attack them. Like they won't eat them fast. So I dropped like one of these in each one of my tanks, and I know that they have some food for that Friday. So whatever works for you, I did, sprinkle some flake food in a few of the tanks too, just so Friday would kind of be a day where it's almost like a half day. So they're getting their breakfast. And I know those kelp wafers are going to last throughout dinner. Got a bunch of plecos, and they'll just kind of snack on them when they want to. Two of my tanks do have a lot of pleco fry. So those two tanks got 2 wafers each, and then the other one's just one. I do have a vacation coming up next year, with like the end of next year. It's probably gonna be like a week and a half to 2 weeks. I'm already kind of thinking of what I'm gonna do, whether I'm gonna have somebody stop by to feed the fish, every few days, or if I'm gonna invest in several automatic fish feeders. The thing with automatic fish feeders, I think I used them once when I first got into the hobby. When you do something new like that, you do want to test it before. So if I was gonna, if I for sure I chose that route and I'm gonna do the automatic feeders, I would get it early. Probably a few months ahead of time, just so I know how it works, how much food it releases, what kind of food it can take to release, just to make sure there are no issues. Because if you get that, set it up the day before you leave, you don't know what's going to happen. There could be a malfunction. The slot can be, too big for the type of food you put in, and you could just dump all of it out in one day, and that's just going to ruin your water quality. So there's a lot of things you want to think about, but at the same time, up to a week, I would not do anything. Just do your water changes before you leave. Don't overfeed them the day before, just because overfeeding is going to make your water quality, more rapidly decrease. So whether they're going to produce a lot more waste during that first day, or there's going to be a lot of uneaten food, you don't want to. I know it's kind of like, you want to get them on a full stomach before you leave, but I believe that's kind of counterintuitive, and it's just gonna, probably hurt the chances of your fish's well-being, survival while you're gone. So generally, I think I have, I want to say maybe 6 days. Maybe 6 days is probably my longest I've been gone for, and I haven't done anything. I was gone for probably 4 days a month ago, and probably another 4 or 5 days a couple months ago. I didn't do anything either, but 6 days is probably my longest without anything special. So keep that in mind. You don't have to, just don't take my word for it. Do your research. There's a lot of different types of fish that can go for different lengths of time without food. My main concern were my fry, just because they are smaller. When I was gone for that 4-day stretch, I did have some of my brand new hatched Medaka die off. But they're a week old, 2 weeks old. They're not going to be able to go for a longer periods of time without food. But yeah, just definitely do your research. Get information from a lot of sources, and you guys can just make the decision yourselves. So that's a quick video. I'm back. I got to do some maintenance, and we'll get the rest of the videos coming. Thank you guys again for watching.